Sexual sin is not the most ugly, icky, gross sin of all. Sexual sin is the most damaging and destructive and heartbreakingly cruel sin in the way it impacts the individual and the people in their life.
In New Creation Ministries, we often see folks that come in and admit that they're either an alcoholic or they are an alcoholic now, and they identify as that. For example, they'll say, "My name is Mike and I'm an alcoholic." Is that your same approach coming in New Creations, where your clients identify as, "My name's Mike and I'm a sex addict"?
Well, again, that's tricky because I have mixed feelings about using those kinds of labels. I think for somebody who's been an alcoholic for 10 or 20 years and who's been in denial or who's lied about it or just has refused to face it, for him to just come right out and say, "I'm Russell Willingham, I'm an alcoholic," if that helps him keep an awareness that this is how his sinful nature has grown and taken shape, and he can't take his eyes off of it, he needs to just be really aware of that, then claiming the moniker alcoholic can be helpful. But if that becomes an identity, or if that becomes an excuse, or if that becomes his sole way of seeing himself, or justifying everything because, well, I'm an alcoholic, what do you expect? Then not only is it not helpful, it's not biblical, it's not true. We don't encourage people to necessarily say, "I'm a sex addict." To say, "You know what, I'm sexually broken and I've gotten involved in sexual addiction. I've allowed sexual addiction to control my life." And sometimes they will say, "I'm a sex addict. I just need to say it so that I can be honest about this brokenness and this sinfulness in my life." For others, they are really ashamed of that. For Christians in particular, any sexual sin or failure or struggle, it's seen with the utmost shame. And it's because we've misinterpreted what Scripture says about sex. Sexual sin is not the most ugly, icky, gross sin of all. That's the way religion portrays it. But sexual sin is the most damaging and destructive and heartbreakingly cruel sin in the way it impacts the individual and the people in their life.